Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta. So you guys have never heard KO Durf before?
Well, I haven't. I don't know if Tim said anything.
No. Well, probably. It's in the movie. Duh.
Yes.
It's
One
like-
of the greatest 80 action movies of all time.
Big Trouble in Little China.
A hard pass. No, come on, man. I was talking about a classic, a movie that stays with you for years and has you say
Rocky. I don't know.
Wait, when's the last time you saw Big Trouble in Little China?
probably. Well, when did it come out? 80.
You should,
you,
you should now that you've got a little seasoning, like just from life, you should watch it. You should give it another watch. I watched it last week and it was great.
Gotcha. No, I was talking about the blockbuster movie Short Circuit 2.
Oh, I love Short Circuit and Short Circuit 2. Those were great.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
This is exactly how computers operate. When you physically beat them, they start saying, they come on saying things backwards. So he was trying to say "Okay, Fred," so he said "Okay" or "KO Durf," and I have been saying "KO Durf" for 30 years now. So,
You know what I finally watched start to finish from the 80s?
What's that?
Goonies.
Goonies.
It was Goonies Day. Was it on Saturday? Was Goonies National Goonies Day?
I don't know. I just turned on HBO to watch something, and it was like it must have been, maybe it was related to that, but it was in like a top picks or something. I was like, I've never seen this. I'm just gonna watch this shit.
It's great, isn't it?
Did you watch it through all the weather?
It's very Steven Spielberg,
Yeah. Well, I actually watched it on Sunday as well. So I put it on. And Kim was like, "Did you know that Goonies Day was yesterday?" And I was like, "I did not. I'm a day behind."
Well, so that's the problem. Is I've started Goonies many times on a Sunday afternoon, and you just fall asleep, right? I mean, like that's the thing you do. You're like watching Goonies on a Sunday. You're like, oh man, I didn't plan on this nap, but here it comes.
Goonies is a great movie.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying
great movie.
It's Sunday couch time, and it's has led to many a nap.
That and Terminator and Johnny Five Alive, Short Circuit, those are all classics.
Circuit's great.
They need to make
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
apparently so.
Now their representation of white people was pretty offensive, but other than that, it was pretty good.
Cool. All right. Well, we can get into that more in last call, maybe, because that's
wait. What did I miss last week?
Yeah, you were gone. You were rocking it up in Conway, right?
Yeah, visited Coastal Carolina, went to the NCAA tournament game. No, just kidding. I didn't do any of that shit. Come on.
I was expecting you to come back with like teal hair or something.
Ooh, that'd have been good. But I didn't go to that part of Myrtle Beach. I stayed away from it. Yeah. Although, I will say, like, honestly, I think Panama City's classier than Myrtle Beach. Just gonna say it.
I don't think that's a stretch, really.
It's well, I mean, a lot of people say that Panama City's trashier, but I'm like, nah, I think Myrtle Beach has it beat by a long shot.
No, I think Panama City's redneckier because there's a difference between redneck and trash. There's a big difference.
Like, I mean, one thing's for sure is this competition is a race to the bottom.
It is.
Well, no one's touching New Orleans.
I will say this:
well,
as someone who is the product of a redneck side of the family and a white trash side of the family, I feel confident in saying that there is a distinct difference, and I think that there are both redneck millionaires and white trash millionaires, but all the white trash ones won it in a lottery. The redneck millionaires have actually worked hard and made their money.
True.
So
and they all moved to Alpharetta.
I would say that Panama City looks nicer than Myrtle Beach does overall. Just they did a better job with it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I have never had a good time in South Carolina.
Trying to think.
And that's all I had to say about that.
I'm trying to think.
Greenville? I don't know.
I've never been to Greenville. I've never heard anybody say, if you want to have a good time in South Carolina, go to Greenville.
Well, I mean, that is one of the few. Well, Charleston's. I like Charleston.
I've never been to Charleston, and I've actually heard very, very good things about Charleston. So,
there are some good spots there. But anyway, I miss you guys. I was definitely going to try to make it, but
enjoy your time off, dude.
The wait times at some of those restaurants are just insane. With it being start of summer.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what we talked about Ryan last week, but I'm sure it was awesome. And
We talked for like an hour, so
thrilling.
We did.
Nice.
All right, but there's been a lot that's gone on, not necessarily Georgia State specific news. I guess what football and basketball players reported this week. The summer semester started this week or something.
Did we count the chickens? Were they there?
I guess basketball is not going to have a full roster. Football does, but I don't know. I don't know anything
for
about
the
that kind of
season
stuff.
basketball, or just for like summer or whatever. There's no.
I don't know. Ben's saying that I guess you have 14, 15 guys you can have on a roster for basketball, and he's thinking we're going to be rolling with 12, maybe 13.
Well, we only play the starters anyway, so
that's what it was last year, right?
Wait, we're saving money, saving cash on scholarships, saving money on meals, medical attention. Look at all that savings.
Well, so that leads right into the big topic that came out with college sports this past week is the House settlement with the NCAA. And there's so much going on. I thought I had a grasp on it, and then I started looking at it for today, and I don't know what the hell's going on. But pay for play is in play, right?
Well, it was already.
No, but I mean actual paying players straight from the school. It'll be there'll be an accounting line item for we're paying this player this amount of money.
Right. There's a cap though, right?
20 mil.
And there's an opt-in thing. You only.
What does that mean? You have to.
If you choose to pay your players, you can pay them.
That's it. You just opt in. I can pay them.
You don't get any revenue sharing if you don't opt in.
That's that piece I didn't understand, the revenue sharing. So is that league wide, like G5, P5, or P4? Everyone gets a piece.
FBS, I believe.
Yeah, the same piece. Probably not.
That's not true. I can't say FBS because I know that this does affect the basketball program, basketball only schools, or I shouldn't say basketball only. The non-football schools also have this, and maybe it's all Division One. I don't know if it filters down to lower levels or anything, but yeah. See, that's the thing. There's just so much going on, and I didn't have a chance to look into it enough. I wish we actually knew more about it.
I've loosely paid attention, and so I did see that Coastal Carolina, App State, JMU have all made statements supporting the future, but not really we're opting in statements. Just we support the future of college athletics.
Well, as of June 15th, any school that's going to opt in has to announce that they're going to opt in. I say announce, have got to file with the NCAA that they're opting in, and then that'll be made public, I guess, the following day. So we'll know before we record next week's episode about whether Georgia State does or not. However, from what I understand from message board fodder, that Georgia State is opting in. That you're going to see the entire Sun Belt opt in.
Well, we need a cool, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok post on it, right? Like all the other schools.
Just follow all the ancillary Twitter accounts of Georgia State, like parking and equipment or something like that, and they'll let you know what the status of
GSU parking is supporting the future of college athletics.
Is there a minimum payout to your players to opt in? Because ULM, they can opt in and take a piece of the revenue, but not pay extra.
So another part of opt. I don't think there's a minimum, but I don't know if there's a minimum or not. It can work in conjunction with your NIL to exceed what the salary cap is.
Right.
But also, if you do opt in, then you're also opting in to the back pay of prior players who did not cash in on a name, image, and likeness because it wasn't allowed back then. And that's that $2.8 billion settlement you see that's to be paid out over the past 10 years. And I don't know all the accounting, who's paying for what, where that money is coming from. I feel like the G5 schools are going to get screwed over it. But I really want to see how many players in Georgia State's. I don't know how far this goes back. Let's say the past 5 years. The past 5 years, how many Georgia State players could say, "Yeah, we missed out on NIL deals while we were here. We missed out on $10,000, $50,000, $100,000."
Like 10 of them,
maybe.
Right. I don't know how far it goes back. I mean, let's say it goes back even 10 or 20 years. RJ. So it's all basketball players, right?
Well, and it's not It's not
Maybe
just
maybe
NIL, right? Because it's
the Ferrari
whatever
twins.
because what the school is paying you is not NIL. It's in that NIL is separate. That's third party still, right? So this is like school payment. So it's not whether you could have gotten NIL money, it's whether you got paid by the school or not, which no one did.
Right, no, but they're actually saying it's money that you missed out on by not having NIL when you were in school.
How would they know?
I don't understand. There's some
Made
formula,
up.
some calculations, but I just feel like it's kind of there's gonna be a percentage that's gotta go back to players or some crap. I don't and then
I mean,
players have to opt into it as well. The former student athletes have to opt into getting
why
paid
the hell
Do,
wouldn't you do that?
do they have the same
because
deadline?
I don't know I don't know what their deadline is, but if they
Okay.
don't opt in, or sorry, if they don't opt in, they still could sue the NCAA or the school for the money. But if they opt in, they're forfeiting their rights to sue for more money.
Well, maybe it's like the EA Sports game where they weren't using the name image. Well, they were using the image and likeness. They weren't using the names for a little while, and maybe they're saying that you should have paid those kids for
I don't know how far.
something.
I don't know how far it goes back
Yeah, that's crazy.
because I mean, the game. This is only the second year of the game coming back. The game was gone for what 10, 12 years or something.
Yeah.
20
You
was
remember,
it?
like, when NIL came on board, Sam Pinckney and some like a Samantha on the tennis squad or something got NIL money from Sam's because Sam's Club
Mhm.
basically just went out and found every Sam sports player, and just gave them the same amount of money, like a
Yeah, and I think
$500 stipend or something.
And a membership.
Arby's gave a running back on every FBS program $1,000 just for being RB running back. Arby's.
Oh, so it's hard to say, like, whether they would have gotten it or not because, like, some of the shit's random, you know?
I love those kind of random sponsorships, and I wish they found a way to better
Pringle, man.
utilize it. You
Well,
know.
it's kinda like hitting the lottery, You're like, "Oh, my name is Sam. Cool." And that's finally worth
Oh,
something.
it's like those crazy scholarships that people set up so that the money's all forced. It's like, it's gotta be somebody born with this name on this date, of this gender, in this city, this day. Wait, the scholarship, it can only go to one particular person because they can get around putting a scholarship on that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's,
The other
and
interesting bit is that, it was like, the thing I read at least was that it was 85 scholarships, 105, players on a football roster. Now it's 105 scholarships. It still is capped at the 105 roster size, but you can give every single one of them a scholarship if you want to.
and no walk-ons.
You can still have walk-ons, but
No.
what?
Walk-ons are gone.
Really?
Walk on. There was an article. Somebody posted it somewhere. I read it. It was a Kirby Smart talking about everything, and he said that it does away with walk-ons. And he was talking about specifically about how they had some player this past season who was a walk-on and performed well and ended up getting on the field and
Yeah.
getting a scholarship, but no more walk-ons. Which so
Yeah, that sucks.
that
That's gonna kill opportunities for some people. For people
that's
who,
going to kill
like,
opportunities. But think about it. So from the Georgia State or the G5 perspective, now you've got Georgia guys that I'll go be a walk-on at Georgia. No, you can't do that anymore. If you want a chance to play college football, you've got to go somewhere else. And so maybe that filters down to G5 programs where you could get some Georgia caliber players or some,
Georgia's just gonna
Hmm.
give 'em a scholarship.
Oh yeah.
I saw
They don't
something
give a
about,
shit. It's a drop in the bucket.
Right.
yeah, I saw something about NIL money paying people's scholarships or something for walk-ons this past season.
Yeah, Georgia just doesn't care because they still have that 105 person roster limit that they had before. That included walk-ons and stuff. And so now they're just like they got to pay that 105 minus 85. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, at least from what I read, according to Kirby, walk-ons are no longer a thing. They won't be able to have them.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
You got to be a scholar.
they'll just give them a scholarship. Is what I'm saying. They won't be called walk-ons, but they're just going to
But
pay them.
but I guess they won't be able to play.
Wait, what do you mean? They wouldn't be a walk-on at that point. They'd be a scholarship player.
Oh no, but yeah, but beyond the scholarships, you cannot have a walk-on player.
Can you pay him $1 and let them be
I don't understand beyond the scholarship.
scholarship?
You
Walk
can't.
on
So
scholarship?
you can only have so many scholarship players.
Right,
Mm.
105, but you already had a 105 player limit.
Right. And now you
So
can't.
you
Now
got
you're
85
100.
scholarships, and then the 105 minus 85 could be walk-ons and non-scholarship players. Now everyone in that just gets a scholarship, and so the big schools can just pay that group of kids And smaller schools are like, man, I can't afford to pay those kids.
Is it a full scholarship though, or can they just pay you $1? You're a walk-on scholarship.
I think it is full scholarships because I think that's one of the things that's going to hurt stuff like baseball, where it's got to be full scholarships. I could be wrong on this.
I mean, it's going to hurt the G5 in general.
Oh,
I mean, it's definitely going to hurt Olympic sports. Forget it. And women's going to be hurt too.
If I'm understanding it correctly as well, there's that salary cap of $20.5 million.
Right.
You could put the entire $20.5 million in your football team. You could put it into your beach volleyball team if you wanted to. I don't. There's not an obligation to spread it equitably across your teams or across your players. You could spend all $20.5 million on your punter if you wanted to.
Are there no Title IX implications there?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. But that got me thinking. We're not going to pay $20.5 million. It's not in the budget. I don't know how we'd come across it. That'd be amazing if Charlie could figure it out. But how cool would it be if you took all your money and you literally put it in for 1 year?
Volleyball.
We're going to put everything into a sport for 1 year, and we're going to guarantee a national championship by getting the best players in that sport, and then just kind of cycle through all your Olympic sports, getting just back-to-back national championships in all these different sports, getting the best players around.
Yeah, but we'd do it. We'd still lose.
Oh, absolutely.
We'd do it to win.
We'd find the way.
Yeah.
Isn't our budget like 36 million, 35 million right now?
Oh, for athletics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all of athletics.
And so like now you're saying $20 more million.
But see, this money would come from
the school.
It's got to be coming from like ticket sales and revenue sharing and crap like that. It can't come from the university, can it?
I don't know. They've got ways. Money's fungible.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's 35. Our budget is 35 million. So
our budget's 35 million. I saw this was in the article that Kirby was talking about. This said, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was somewhere else. I saw it between NIL payments and the payments from the school. Texas projects to pay $35 million in payroll this year to their athletes. Texas Tech, $55 million.
Texas,
how are they higher?
I don't know. Those Texas schools, I've got no idea how money works. Like, I don't know which schools are the big oil schools and which ones are not. You would think that Texas was like, all right, we'll spend $1 billion.
Right.
But then SMU raises like $100 million to move to the ACC overnight. So
there probably is just a lot of oil money out there.
Oh, there's got to be.
That's what is it? Oklahoma State or Oklahoma Pickens or whatever. Like that's all oil money. But that's basically he just runs their whole athletic department. He's just like, oh, you need a check, whatever. Here it is.
I want oil money.
I know, me too.
It's gonna be tough for G5 schools and our school, whatever, the entire Sun Belt. Like, you can't keep this up easily year over year, can you?
Right. That's another thing that Kirby was talking about is so you pay somebody a lot of money this 1 year to come in.
Right.
You have this cap, are you going to pay that same player the same amount of money the following year? But you're also trying to recruit other kids to come in to replace this guy when he's gone. Like, they're going to expect the same money. How are you going to allocate it? It's a whole new management aspect of the college sports.
Right.
That was the thing. I don't know if it was with you guys or not, so feel free to make fun of me if it was. No, I think I read something talking about like purposely tanking seasons by pulling out and not funding a season, but then saving that for the next one, basically, and then using it. And it's because like the fiscal year is offset. It's kind of weird,
right?
And so, I obviously do not love incentives that create like an incentive to do poorly. Like that's a bad situation, right? That's why I don't like the draft, right? Because it kind of encourages you to lose a game, which is like, why would we do that? That sucks. You should never encourage somebody to lose a game.
It's bad mojo. I hate that.
Yeah, that said, I mean, I agree with you, but also it's hard to it's very easy for an owner or a general manager to say we need to lose the last 3 games to get a better draft pick. It's way more difficult to convince a player you need to drop that pass, you need to not complete that pass, you need to let that sack happen so we can get a better guy to take your job next season. Like the players are still playing for their own credibility, their own stats, their future. So when you talk about like choking games just to get a better draft pick, maybe through play calling or something, but the players are still going to play to win the game.
We're going to run the ball right up the middle every time. Oh, we did that. Never mind.
I mean, that it's even like a conversation every year, though, that's like, oh, the Falcons need to lose the last 2 games so that they can get what. I'm like, no, that's insane. The Falcons don't need to lose any game ever.
I agree.
Need to
well, there was the thing when Andrew Luck was coming out of college, there was that whole suck for luck. Like they wanted the team to suck to draft Andrew Luck.
No, thank you.
I will never root for a loss. I will. Even if a win put, I mean, I'm talking NFL right now, but I can't bring myself to say it for
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Even if a Falcons win put the Saints in a better position, I'm still rooting for the Falcons to win because that's my team. You know?
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
And I guess this tanking that we're talking about is a little different than that because you're still not like rooting for a loss. You're just saying, okay, we're going to save some of our resources so that we can pull it for another one. We're still going to try to win every single dang game, but we understand that we're playing a little behind everybody else because we didn't put as much in this year. That's fine.
Well, we've also seen
that's not bad.
Well, we've seen a lot of changes just in the past couple of years with all this. It's been like going rapidly fast. So I would imagine that after at the speed we're going after one season of that happening, they'll change it where you can't do that.
I think this is multi-layered too, because I think the settlement, the $2.8 billion antitrust settlement, is going to set us back about $500,000, give or take. That's like 9% of our budget. And then you're saying on top of that, the $20.5 million per year up to $20.5 million. Yikes. That's a lot of cash.
That 500,000, 700,000, whatever the number was you said, that's paid out over 10 years.
It's 10 years, but still, that's like $400,000 to $500,000.
Yeah. I know it's a lot of money, especially for us. It's a crap ton of money for us.
Yeah, 9% of our budget's a big chunk.
It's just so weird. Why does this have to be so complicated? To channel my inner Avril Lavigne, why does it got to be so complicated? Just play the goddamn game.
Whenever it's money, and a lot of it, they make it complicated.
Do you think the P4 or P2 are like making this overly complicated so that us dumb programs can't figure out how to do it and we just get kicked out?
No, I think part of the problem is this resistance to change, right? So there's like all these appeals to tradition and we're losing the amateur status and all that stuff. And there's this resistance there that they feel like they have to account for. And so they create all these weird little rules to try to like save that. And I'm like, guys, you lost it. Just go, just do it or don't, is kind of where I'm at. It's like, and why are we making this so confusing? It's,
Do you think they're hoping that there'll be schools that don't opt in and effectively have to drop to FCS?
I think there will be some schools that are going to struggle with this. At least it's going to accelerate that split we talk about a lot every year for the last couple of years since COVID, basically. Like there's going to be programs that just can't compete, that don't have the revenue is already, scarce for a lot of the G5 and FCS programs for that matter. And even the lower half of the P4, the lowest P4s, 20 million is just not easy to come by.
Well,
right?
So 20 million, that's a question a lot of people have is like, let's come June 16th and how many P4 programs actually come out and say, we will not be paying out the full $20.5 million. Because there's probably plenty of, these conferences are so huge now with, some low quality teams in there. I mean, these teams are barely G5, quality, but they've been getting their big, huge paychecks. Are they going to be able to afford that $20.5 million?
We'll pay $1 to $20 million, somewhere in there. That's where Georgia State will land.
Somewhere between 1 and 20 million.
We are confident in that.
Do you think we pay anything? Or we just take our revenue share and have the ability to pay?
No, we'll have to pay something. I'm sure they're going to figure out how to slice a couple things up to pay something out to the student athletes.
Will our highest paid player be football or basketball or a different sport?
Football, easily.
Football.
It's all football. Do we pay?
A.D. McGee runs the show, doesn't he?
Right. So
we hope.
Do you think that basketball gets paid at all?
That's a good question.
I hope so. I mean, you're gonna have to try to keep up with the other schools in the Sun Belt, right?
We haven't kept up with schools in the Sun Belt since Coach Jonas Hayes took
I
over.
know.
Well, and the thing about basketball is
Got to pay them.
a little bit goes a long way, right? So like one good player on a basketball squad will make a big giant difference. And so if you throw a little investment that way, it'll make it go a lot further. But everyone else has that same math, so who knows how that looks. But also, it gets you to the NCAA's, which gets you a payout as well.
Sure.
So
So
we pay $1 million towards a basketball superstar,
just
and
one.
we pay $19.5 million towards football.
Can you give $20 million to one player?
I don't see why you couldn't.
Okay, yeah, you said it could be spread however you want. So
We need to find the FAQ on this. Where is it?
Yeah,
nobody
then
knows. Nobody
Yeah.
knows.
It's all secret.
We should watch
it's all in that settlement, but who's going to read that?
Well, not anybody that voted on it. So
It's boring, man. I'm telling you. I read like the intro and was like, oh god, I'm not doing this.
fell asleep.
Yeah, like I've read a lot of legalese in my day, but no, thank you. I'm past that.
Yeah, it's gonna get weird, right? I mean, you're gonna get G580s and presidents thinking, how do we do this? Can we do this? Is the G5 just gonna be like, F this shit, create our own division and be done with it?
Well, yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go with this, Tim. Is I ask you, at what point does the fan base finally just say, screw it, I'm done with it? Like we see people all the time. They're like, I gave up on the NFL because of blah blah blah, and I gave up on P5 football because of yeah. I just watch my school. That's all I watch anymore. I don't watch anything else.
Right.
How far do we go before people stop watching even their own school? Because I've always said the cool thing about college sports was, this didn't apply to us because we were there before football, but it was cool. Like, this guy's in my class. I sit next to him every Tuesday and Thursday. That was the cool thing about cheering for your university, because these were people that lived in the same dorm. We made the same dorms, but they went to the same classes. They're on the same, common grounds and stuff. You see them out there in the square. You do whatever the student center. These were classmates. Yeah, it's easy to rally behind. Now it's just some paid person that puts the same logo on that's on your diploma on their helmet and goes out and plays a game. It's not really that connection anymore.
I'm just waiting for him to make school optional.
Just be like, next.
Hey, you get a scholarship. Whether or not you come to class, you can opt in or opt out. Why not?
Are these payments 1099? Are they W-2 employees? Like, are they taking federal income tax out? Are they paying Social Security? Like,
they're taxing it.
The government's getting their money.
Sorry.
Come on,
don't you worry about question.
That. They're taxing it, no doubt about it.
But Georgia did. I don't know if they passed it or not. I know they put forth that law to excuse NIL money from the income tax.
Oh yeah, we talked about
that. Yeah, I don't know if they passed that or not. I don't love that, because I'm like, why are we carve outs for these kids making millions of dollars? That's not cool.
As long as they also decide to not tax my paycheck, I'll support it.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. That's my problem. Is like they're just like, oh yeah, you're making $1 million tax free, no worries. I'm like, guys, I'm making way less than that, and I could use that money.
Is the argument is that they are generating revenue for the state by advertising the universities and bringing people into Athens, into Atlanta, into Kennesaw. No one goes to Statesboro.
The argument is UGA needs to be able to compete with Texas and Tennessee.
Well, then, hey, Ryan, not to get deep into it, but Ryan, how about we eliminate Georgia income tax?
Oh yeah, no,
Then it solves the problem. These kids don't have to pay. There you go. We're all on the same page.
Yeah. I mean, I wish we were, but we're not.
I'd be all for that. I don't know where the government's going to get its money from if they take it away, but figure it out.
Come on, haven't you heard? We're tariffing everything.
They find a way, Tim. Don't you worry about it. You can pay them all you need to.
Okay. I mean, I liked that part of living in Florida. That was awesome. Yeah. And then I moved here and they forgot to flip it. in their systems, and they weren't taking any money out of my paychecks for a bit.
Oh, that sucks.
And then 4 months into it, they're like, "Hey, so we have a problem." Like,
did they
what?
fix it, or did you have to fix it on your taxes?
They fixed it, and it was brutal.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least they fixed it before you did your taxes.
Yeah, before. That would have been terrible.
Yeah.
Kim got paid her bonus this year, and they forgot to take the taxes out, and so she's like, "That's awesome."
Ooh.
And then it's like, "Oh, and you're not going to get another paycheck for a couple of weeks," as we recoup all that money that Uncle Sam wants. There's also like another thing part of this, which I don't understand exactly, is they're putting together this the College Sports Commission, which we've talked about in the past. But
CSC.
Kirby's talking about that actually kind of doing away with these NIL collectives, that everything will have to route through this commission to determine whether the amount of money that's being raised through NIL to pay this kid justifies the contribution or something like that. It was weird, but he definitely said, well, the article is definitely saying that it could, do away with these third party collectives like the All Blue, All NIL. Ryan,
Nil.
That's how you pronounce that word. Nil.
Nil.
You're a developer, dude. You know, nil is like what is it in JavaScript, right?
Yeah.
Nil.
Yeah, but it's not. We're not doing JavaScript. We're talking about the alliteration, or not alliteration, but the flow of the word. All Blue, All NIL.
Yeah, but it's a acronym. Nil. NIL.
I'm not having this conversation. I'm not having this conversation. Get on
You
here.
brought it up. You did it.
I know. Well, I mean, I will always point out where you're wrong, but then I'm just not going to continue the conversation. I said my piece, and then everyone just has to agree with me.
Got it.
That's the way it works, right?
Yeah, that's what's happening right now.
How the hell did we get here? That's what I want to know.
Somebody was paying players a long time ago under the table, and one of the things I wrote down was like this new college sport commission is the new way the NCAA will fine or restrict teams. Like, oh, you're paying this player more money than we think they're worth, so that's not allowed. Now you're under restriction. Now you vacate wins or something. I don't know. I
don't love that, because why do they get to decide what somebody's worth? Like, let's say you have Coach AD McGee, and he says, you know what? I have a crazy idea. We're going to pay these 5 players all of the, we're going to split $20 million.
Wow.
What if AD McGee puts $20.5 million into Austin McGee?
Then we should fire him.
Then it's government corruption, but it's not the government.
No, then we should that we don't need the NCAA to step in. We should fire him. Like, if that happens, right? But if he does that, and then McGee goes crazy, and he's actually is amazing, and he would have gone somewhere else, and we just didn't even know the ins and outs of that, right? Like, who's to say? Who knows? But I've been saying this the whole time. This new era for the little guys, it's going to be the person who understands how to think outside the box when no one else is. That's who's going to step out and win a couple seasons before everybody else picks up on it and catches on and catches up, I guess. But
I mean, but this college, what is it, CSC, College Sports Commission, it's P4 exclusive. We're not
good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, they're gonna do what they want.
Oh yeah. So it's the inmates running the asylum type thing, right?
Yes, basically. Like, who are these P5 people? What are they doing in here? Get them out.
P4, P2, and the tag along. It's like you got Batman and Robin, and I don't know, Aquaman and Aqualad, and you have your P2. I don't know if Aquaman would be a P2, but anyhow, I
what's the American then?
I don't know, Green Lantern or something. I don't know.
Like,
I did
I don't
not
know.
really
It's
see
gonna be
it.
weird. I
Williams?
mean, it's
I don't know.
I killed that. Jesus.
I didn't hear what you said. The audio cut out on me, so I had no idea what you said.
Oh, I said like Nathan Fillion, Green Lantern, or like
Guy
you know,
Gardner. I
yeah.
had no idea that Guy Gardner was a Green Lantern until I started seeing the previews for the Superman and watching all the background stuff. But I'll watch Nathan Fillion in anything. He's awesome.
You know what though? He looks so goofy. He looks so stupid. His whole head looks like a penis,
But
and
that's the
I'm
way. If you look at the comics, that's the way he looked.
oh, I know, and I'm just here for it. I think he looks amazing. I think he's gonna be great. Nathan Fillion is great, and the
Yeah.
fact that they put him in such like an outrageous costume and whatever, like I'm excited.
he looks like an
Yeah.
amazing penis.
Whoa. Well,
That's why I said he looks like a big
with
old.
the foreskin.
Whoa!
No, he's definitely cut. What are you talking about?
The Guy Gardner, the bowl
Keep
cut
it
he
clean,
has.
guys.
He's got a little.
Keep it clean.
So
You can say
we're off topic.
We went way off topic.
All right. I think none of us know what the hell's going on with the House settlement and how it affects Georgia State, but there is another thing that was announced. EA Sports is now going to pay schools based off of how many times their schools played.
Was that real? That's real. I saw
It's
something
real.
about that.
No,
I didn't
it's
know that was
real.
real.
And Kennesaw was number one.
Yeah. Well, was it Kennesaw or was it Kent State?
I thought it was Kennesaw.
Because I definitely saw a guy on TikTok pushing Kent State as the team that everyone needs to play. Like, get everyone to play Kent State just to ramp up the amount of money they have, just to change the narrative. And so my response was, why didn't this come out a year earlier? And we could have got everybody to play Georgia State and
All the
fulfill
Reddit
the
people.
Reddit prophecy. But it's not that much money.
No?
So EA said that if, like, I think they used Alabama as a reference. If Alabama's played 7 million times, that amounts to 1% of, I guess, the expectation, which is $50,000. So if 1% is 50,000, 10% is 500, 100% is $5 million. If $5 million is being paid out across 133 schools, I don't see that being that much money, really.
They could give up some more money, is what I'm saying.
I don't think a single school is going to get paid $1 million. Is there going to be a school that gets
No.
20% of the whole thing?
I doubt it.
Like,
So you're saying I don't need to go buy a copy and start playing Georgia State just
But
to like call it a donation?
You should.
And then
You should.
I could call what's his face and just be like, I'm donating right now.
whenever Georgia State calls you, be like, I'm donating right now. No,
I donate every day.
If 7 million plays generates $50,000, my math may be wrong on this, and if it is so, blame Excel. But I think that's 1 cent per play, roughly 1 cent per play.
Some hard cash right there.
Yeah,
so I do know. Go ahead.
Amit had said in our Patreon, in our private group chat, we just need to go farm it out to like all the
students.
Not students, like all the offshore, overseas, where you pay the developers and people just to do all the crap and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think 1 cent per. What's a game with a fast pace? What's a game? 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that.
Probably.
You play a full game, 20 minutes. I don't think we can pay a cent per 20 minutes. That's like Nike prices. Only Nike can pay 1 cent for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
No.
But you should get the game, Ryan, because I don't have a system to play it.
I can say, talking to my nephew who's in the teenager range, Kennesaw was a team that a lot of him and his friends played as last year.
Well, that's the thing. That's what people do is once they win their championship with whatever their favorite team is, Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, whatever, Notre Dame, whatever it may be, then they're like, oh, I want to go on dynasty mode with the worst team in all of college football and see if I can go win championships after championships. Like, that's their fun thing to do, which is great for the smaller programs. I remember one of my buddies, when the NCAA games came out, he was like, hey, I'm going to make Georgia State my team. I'm gonna win a championship with Georgia State. And I was like, yeah, well, we don't have a football team, so that's gonna be really hard for you to do in that game. So he's like, you don't? I'm like, yeah. Then Then it was like but I thought that you were the Eagles. Ah, come on, man.
But they didn't
Oh.
have a team either because it was,
Not back
FCS
then.
Dragons or whatever was the,
Yeah, it was like, southeastern
yeah.
Eastern.
FCS
I really enunciate that
Southeast,
R in Eastern.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I always, I feel like before I think the last one was where Georgia State finally was in it, and then, but before that, I picked
Russia.
Middle Tennessee because the color was close and they sucked.
What is their thing? Middle Tennessee, they're
Also true.
the Raiders, Blue Raiders or something like that?
Yeah,
What
Yes,
Blue
happened?
the Blue
Raiders.
Raiders.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they
Oh, weird.
were on the bottom tier, and they were they're not the right blue, but they're blue enough.
Close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
And they're close
drafted
to
them up.
Nashville, and Nashville's awesome, so you
Well,
got that
and
going
so
for
it's
you.
funny because I think to this day that's why I'm like I kind of like Middle Tennessee because I played EA Sports as Middle Tennessee for a little while, and I don't know, just like them. I don't
Oof.
pay
Not
So
attention
now
to them.
though. Stuck in
so
the
if you could pick,
Conference USA.
if you could pick one Conference USA team to join out of the Sun Belt, out of Middle Tennessee or Western Kentucky, are you gonna go to your Middle
Western
Tennessee
Kentucky.
roots? Or are you gonna go to Bowling
Uh,
Green,
I don't think you
Kentucky?
get one without the other. So
I think now you could. I think after Western Kentucky got burned by Middle Tennessee by not going to the MAC after the last realignment, I bet you Western Kentucky would jump in a heartbeat without. I think I think they're over that. Like, you left us in this crap of a conference. You made us be in a conference with Kennesaw State and what's that other? I know they got Jacksonville
Jacksonville
State
State.
and Sam Houston. Didn't
Sam
they get like
Houston,
Delaware State and Missouri State?
Delaware
UTEP.
State,
They got
Jesus.
UTEP.
Oof.
They
UTEP.
got
Well, they already
UTEP
had
is
They already had
an
UTEP.
FBS program for a long time. Those other ones are call ups that are a little
Sam
questionable.
Houston, baby.
Tarleton. Is Tarleton in yet?
I don't think
Abilene
so.
Christian. Are they
No.
FBS yet?
I was gonna joke around with you guys and say, it's tough, between Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky, but gotta give the edge to Liberty. Let them in. Just
Oh, Liberty.
kidding.
Nope. Um,
I'd like to let in FIU get some Florida up in the Sun Belt.
I'm
I was
okay at
also
it.
excited about that when we joined the Sun Belt, and then they all up and left us.
FAU and FIU.
Yep,
Fuckers.
I was like, you know what, that'll be a cool little trip.
I was looking
Yeah,
forward
but
to FAU. I really was.
well, between the two of them, we would get a Florida trip every single year. We're either we'd host FIU one year, we'd play at FAU, we
Mhm.
back and forth. I was like, I get a South Florida trip every single year. This is awesome. And then they
Well,
move
one of
on.
them's Orlando, right? And then another one is
No, the Boca and like Miami.
Miami.
oh yeah, okay,
I mean,
cool.
I'm looking at Conference USA right now, and it's dog shit.
It's garbage.
Yeah,
It's really
I
bad.
mean,
yeah, we dodged
I
the bullet.
mean, to be fair to everyone listening to this podcast, we don't like the Sun Belt as it is, but looking at Conference USA's slate of teams, it's like, ugh.
Ryan, you say we dodged a bullet, but I don't think we'd be in Conference USA right now had we joined.
You think we'd
I
be
think we
smart
would.
enough to leave?
I think we would have gone.
Yeah, David
We would have
thinks
gone.
that AAC only was hiring from CUSA, and that's where we would have gone.
No, no, I don't think that. I think that we had the opportunity to go to American from the Sun Belt, but we turned it down because Charlie Cobb. It was poor timing. It was happening right
It
as
was bad
Becker's
timing.
transition to Dr. President Blake, and then Charlie wasn't going to do crap. But I think that if we were in Conference USA when
Saw
all
the
that went
writing.
down, that Charlie probably would have pushed to get us out and probably would have told, and I think Becker may have even told Blake, like, hey, it's your decision, but you don't want to be with these guys, whatever. I think that we would be an American right now. How do we join Conference USA? And I don't know. Who knows? That's a lot of years to speculate on. Maybe we would have been better at football if we were playing shittier competition that's in Conference USA all those years.
Well, and
I don't know.
they weren't shittier back then. They all the good programs got poached away. They were
Right.
good for a little while. They
Yeah,
were a better conference when we didn't go.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I will give athletics this one tip the hat. Like, if we were in Conference USA and all of those schools are moving up, and we have the same offer which we supposedly had in the Sun Belt, when you look at what's left versus like it was much harder decision based on where we were today. Because if you look at the Sun Belt, it's strong. It was strong. It is strong. But if you were in Conference USA, you're like, well, wait. If we stay here, there's nothing left. Basically, we have to go. Like, I think it
Well,
would
I
have been
don't
like
I don't believe
you
there's a
have to.
Also, we
Yeah.
would have been in Conference USA with UAB that entire time, and that is a
That's a
rivalry that I
package.
want to make happen. I think that
We
just
need
by
to.
proximity and the types of cities that they are, and I mean, Atlanta's, far bigger than Birmingham, but still, I feel like that's a great. I would much rather have Birmingham as our closest rival than Troy.
We should at their AD and at Cobb and say, we'll buy you guys beers. Go figure it out.
Right.
Figure
Actually,
out how to
you know what? We'll buy
figure
you
out how
guys
to get the
beer.
schedules.
We'll figure it out, and we'll just let you know what we decided.
That'd be awesome.
I don't think there was a real AAC offer. So
I don't think there was an actual invitation. I do think
There's
if you look at the
outreach.
schools,
well, there definitely
if
wasn't
you,
that. I'm saying I don't think there was a credible offer on the table, back channeled or anything.
I disagree. If you look at the schools that did go
Millions of
to,
dollars.
if you look at the schools that went to American from Conference USA, I would argue that maybe other than UAB, every single Conference USA program, we were better than a better option, a better choice to go to the American. You're talking North Texas, Charlotte, Rice, no. Well, actually, Rice is probably pretty good. I know they're
Rice
a
is
horrible.
good.
They're a horrible program, but was it Dallas that they're in? It's a
Yeah.
good look. And I know markets versus history and program and success. Blah 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 blah. I think that Georgia State was just as good, if not better, than any team that moved from Conference USA to the American.
Yeah.
And I think
mean,
it was Charlotte. I think Charlotte got the invite after we turned it down, so to speak.
It's like it's like what did we figure out? We're getting paid like less than $5 million a year from Sunbelt
Yeah.
stuff, and we
2 million.
would have gotten like 20 million in the AAC. Like, you fire a guy who says no to that. It's a huge jump. It's an insane jump in revenue.
No,
Money.
Americans paying their legacy members $7 million a year, and their Conference USA members half of that.
And what do
But
we get?
they'll fix
Two,
that when
we're $2
they
million a
renegotiate,
year.
right?
Yeah, so we would have doubled our revenue from the conference, and we said no, thank you. We don't need $2 million or $4 million, whatever. Like, no,
all
thank
because we always wanted to host Georgia Southern Trash Down South every other year because
you.
that made up everything else.
That doesn't make any sense. That's not a
Because it makes
rational
sense.
decision, right?
Well,
That's not.
And also,
Ryan, are we rational? The school.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
also, we could
We're
always
lazy, but we're rational.
Okay.
if it comes down to Trash Down South filling our seats for one game a season, schedule them out of conference
every year. Yeah,
Who
every year.
cares?
Well,
Who
I know. I
cares?
don't believe it because I think we would have just done that.
Or just alternate between them and Kennesaw.
Well, okay. In that case, explain to me why. Not explain to me. I guess my statement is I don't see how any one of those schools were invited over Georgia State, and blue blinders on what it may be. I don't see how they could invite Charlotte over Georgia State.
I have no idea, but I equally cannot see how we would say no.
I couldn't see it back then either.
I mean,
it happened.
back then I didn't know about the discrepancy in pay and in revenue sharing between the conferences. I was like, oh no, why would we do that? Like, I think it's debatable. Remember, we talked about this all the time. And then as soon as I knew that number, I was just like, oh, dumb. Of course you go.
I think the reasoning was like the travel costs would have been eat into that profit enough.
But they already said we fly everywhere, so
I know.
Yeah, it's really hard to use travel costs when it comes to being a school in the busiest airport in the world. You can get, although it is stupid expensive to fly to some really common places here.
Tariffs, man.
You know what Disney has like that hometown discount? Like, it's you can
You
pay
go
like
in Florida
the season
discount.
pass to Disney for like, like with 200, $300 a year. It's like absurdly well priced for local residents of Florida or whatever.
Yeah.
Why can't I get a frequent flyer
For
discount from
Delta?
Atlanta? I live in the city of Atlanta. Come on, I'm within city limits. I should be able to fly out of here for a discounted ticket. Come on, Delta. Give me a hometown discount.
I don't hate that idea. I think we should all get like
Right?
a 5-10% off.
Well, yeah, 'cause
Five,
you're Atlanta now
five,
too.
3%? I don't know. Yeah, I'm Atlanta.
Thr
Whew, barely.
Ryan on the outside looking in. What could have been.
They should give us a discount and then charge everyone else 10% more to offset it.
I'm sure there's a lot of stupid, dumb city fees that are.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
just remove the city fees. That's it. Remove the city fees.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's the position. Ryan, sign me up. That's what I'm gonna run. That's my platform I'm running on for some whatever office you can figure out
Is what?
to remove city fees from flights for anybody that lives in the city of Atlanta from Hartsfield flights.
Oh man, you know what? Prying the airport from Atlanta City Council is going to
Never gonna
be
happen.
no. They will not. They make so much like dark money off of that.
Oh
Like
yeah.
everyone on the council makes so much in like bribes and all kinds of like they're not doing anything with
Is it
that.
common for cities to own their airport?
I don't know.
I
I don't
think it's
know.
funny that the city owns it, but I don't know. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
they're responsible for like the contracts for all of the businesses and
Food
stuff.
services.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's not cool.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Uh,
I think unless
are
you
we
guys
way
have
off
anything else you
topic?
guys want to talk about, we can head over to last call to finish up this conversation.
That seems appropriate.
I mean, unless we want to talk about airport and politics. I don't know.
Talk about airport etiquette. I could go on about that one.
Ooh, that's a big
Airports turning
topic.
in more and more to Walmarts every day.
Is that good or bad?
It's a bad thing.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
very bad thing.
I want to have like first class treatment at Walmart prices is what I want when I go to the airport. Oh, actually, in life, I want first class treatment with Walmart prices.
There you go. I like
So,
it.
all right, are we done here?
Yeah.
We talked
We,
for an hour,
yeah,
right?
we talked for an hour ish. We can move on to the last call, right?
All right, Tim, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, sure. Thanks everyone for listening. We're gonna take a quick break here and head over to last call. If you liked what you heard or you didn't, doesn't matter. Go to patreon.com/State of Atlanta and donate. You'll get live streaming access to Last Call. We're about to get into discounts on merch, group chat action, breaking news, adult bevs at tailgates, and potentially more if we ever get our act together. Become a fan of the show for $5 a month. That's all it takes. We'd love to have you aboard. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.